met my two favourite guys on this party. They're so yummy, so lovely. But guess what? They're both getting married in the next couple of months. But hey ho, I'm not going to give up because there's plenty more fish in the sea.
I'm 69 and I left my husband 7 years ago. I was fed up with being part of the furniture. I wanted to have a proper life again. Everyone got the shock of their lives when I left. My friends couldn't believe it. Most of all, my ex couldn't believe it. He never thought I'd leave. I mean, I didn't wish him any harm. I didn't have an unhappy marriage. I just wanted a bit more excitement in my life. And I was gonna get it before I was 70. And I've only got 6 months to go. People stay in a relationship far too long when it's no good. And I can tell you something, when you are absolutely feeling like this is the end of the line, be brave, take a leap and just go, and you will never look back. Don't stay if you're not happy, because everyone deserves to be happy. I'm dating. The one thing that 19-year-olds and 69-year-olds have in common, that the men we're dating are still assholes. Oh, they are indeed assholes.
The woman you're watching walked away from her husband in search of excitement and a completely different life. What makes this story even more surprising is that she documented much of the journey online. From jumping back into the dating world and chasing the thrill of something new, to eventually realizing that replacing a long-term partner isn't nearly as easy as she imagined, the entire experience became a public lesson in expectations versus reality. What's even more interesting is that she openly admitted her marriage wasn't unhappy. Her husband never expected her to leave, and by her own account, there wasn't some major betrayal or dramatic event that ended the relationship. Instead, after years of living the same routine, she began feeling restless and convinced herself that there had to be something more exciting waiting on the other side.
Why I left my husband when I said I wasn't in an unhappy marriage. Well, we didn't fight, there was no violence or anything like that, but I didn't feel I was living my life to the full. I didn't like living in the countryside when I'm really a city person. He was a good lover most of my life, but I still wanted a new adventure. There was a big age gap. Maybe that had something to do with it. We weren't on the same page anymore. There are many reasons people could decide that they've had enough. Many reasons. But I knew that it was time for me to leave. I've been thinking about it for many years. I wanted my children to be away at university. I didn't want to leave them when they were very young. But then I enjoyed my life when my children were there. I think it was when they left it made me realize there was nothing.
The kids grew up and moved out, and suddenly the routine that once gave her life structure started to feel quiet and empty. This is something many people go through. After years of focusing on parenting, responsibilities, and maintaining a household, it's natural for questions about identity and purpose to surface once that chapter changes. In that space, some people start thinking about change, excitement, and what life could look like outside of the routine they've known for decades. But making a decision like chasing a completely new life after so many years together is never simple.
People said, why didn't I work it out before I walked out? But it wasn't as easy as that, and I had thought about it for a long time, and there was nothing to work out. I knew I couldn't change anything. I tried, but not in a way that was unreasonable. I just knew I was ready to leave. And I haven't. This is not an advertisement for people to get divorced just because I walked out. I mean, everyone has a different story. Everyone has a different path. And it's amazing how you can still have fun and enjoy yourself when you have actually let go of all that tension that this uneasiness brings when you know it's not what you want anymore. So that's part 2 of my story. I'm just giving people the encouragement and the confidence to actually think twice about the rest of your life, because there's always an alternative. And there's always a new way to live. What I've learned is it's never too late to start again.
It can feel like freedom on one side, but it also carries real emotional weight on the other: loss, loneliness, and irreversible consequences that don't always become clear until later. What makes these situations so complex is that there are no easy labels or clean outcomes. One person might feel like they've been reborn and finally started living for themselves again, while the other may feel blindsided, abandoned, and left to deal with the emotional aftermath. And most of this never gets shown honestly online. That's why these stories tend to hit differently. They reflect how the same decision can completely split two people's realities.
If you find dating difficult, I'm 69 and I find it extremely difficult sometimes. I have lots of dates, first dates, but I don't get second and third dates. I don't even want them. I don't find any connection with the people I meet up with. No real vibe. I mean, where do you find the person to get that vibe with? It's not even my age, I don't think. I think this happens at all ages. And it can be quite tiring. It can make you feel very miserable because it almost makes you feel there's something wrong with you. And I sometimes think, what is wrong with me? But in the end, I think, no, it's them. It's not me. No one makes any effort. And finding people on dating apps is probably such a fake way of meeting people. We're just looking at a picture. We're not looking at a personality. So how do you really know who you're meeting, where they're from? Doesn't work. For me, it doesn't work. And I'm thinking, will I ever find anyone? Sometimes I really want to give up, and I have to push myself, say, no, don't give up. Just keep looking, because when you least expect it is when you're probably going to find it.
That doesn't really sound like genuine happiness anymore. It feels more like someone trying to laugh their way through a reality that didn't turn out the way they expected. Because sometimes people laugh not because everything is fine, but because sitting alone with the consequences feels heavier. What once looked like freedom can slowly turn into reflection. At the time, walking away may have felt freeing, like responsibilities were disappearing and life was finally opening up again. But after a while, reality tends to feel different. Attractive people, new places, and exciting experiences will always exist. What's much rarer is a real, stable connection with someone who truly knows you and stands with you over time. And that's usually the part people only fully understand after it's gone. The value of what they left behind becomes clearer in hindsight. All of that excitement eventually settles, and what's left is reality. Because no matter how new or thrilling something feels in the beginning, it doesn't erase the weight of what was left behind. Over time, the noise fades, and people are left sitting with their choices, sometimes with clarity, sometimes with regret. And maybe that's the real lesson in stories like this. It's easy to chase what looks exciting in the moment, but it's much harder to rebuild what was already real and stable once it's gone. That's where we'll leave it for today. If you found this story interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. See you in the next one.